Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Comic Books NYC. You're watching Original Art Hour. This is the show where we sit down with other original art collectors, look at some art from their collection, tell some stories, have a good time, and talk about the art side of the comic book hobby. Joining me tonight is a Comic Corps member and one of the Golden Guys, and my friend Jay Dee. What's going on, brother?
How is everybody out there? Great to be on your show. I've been watching this one. I often watch it on the rewind a lot because I'm usually getting ready for Golden Guys.
I get a lot of rewind watching. People like looking at that art, you know what I mean? And just kind of going through the show. So I get it. And
I'm really honored to be here, and let's have some fun.
Dude, I can't wait to see your art collection. Like, I've seen little bits and pieces here and there, you know, whenever you feel like popping it up, but I don't think there's been a consistent hour in a row of your collection. We did that show with TJ though, like a while ago on Stranger Things or whatever, where we like split the show and shared a little bit of each of our collections. But I can't wait to see like the Jay Dee deep cuts of your collection. I can't wait.
Yeah, this will be the deep cuts. So
oh yeah. All right, man. So let's before we get started, I'm just going to say a quick hello to everybody in the chat. We had JP in here, tailgating. We had Backseat Driver, 5280. What's going on, guys? Magic Lasso is here. What's up, Lasso? Tricky Trapster is in the house. Got to get him on the show at some point as well. And Lasso.
Surprise for Trapster.
And Unruly, for that matter. What's up, Unruly Simeon's here. All these guys are the regulars. We got Steven, Geeks, Drinks, and Comics is here. What's going on, brother? Thank you for being here. Kenny, Comic Head 84. What's going on, Kenny? Graphic Man is here. What's up, Graphic Man? Comics for Thomas in the house. What's going on, Comics for Thomas? Thank you for stopping in. Looks like we got Pope Cerebus. What's up, Pope C? Good to see you. It's been a minute. Thank you for stopping in. What's up, Daymers is here. We got to get him on too, man. Daymers has got some OA in his collection as well. So lots of good guys here. Thank you, guys. Oh, we got Comic Man Andy as well. What's going on, Andy?
Hey, Andy. Good having you here.
Thanks for being here, brother. All right, man. I don't know if I missed anybody in the chat, but we will say what's up to all of you guys as we go. But we got Jay Dee here. Jay Dee, you know, you're one of the golden age experts in this community, having led the Golden Guys for I don't even know how long. It's been a while now, and you guys have been doing that show for
about a year and a half.
Yeah, and it's been great. But this is an art show, and I've been looking forward to seeing it, you know, a deeper look into your collection for a long time and hanging out. What's up, Justin? No Good Comics in the house as well. So this is it, man. Why don't you kick things off? Why don't you tell the community a little bit about how you got into it, and then just start showing art, and we'll just start flying back and forth.
Well, when I started, when I got done playing hockey and everything, I got a job working on the floor of the stock exchange. And a lot of people back there in New York, there was a card shop on Maiden Lane that people would buy a lot of basketball cards and everything else. But back then, Marvel had cards. And I was already into comics, obviously, and everything else. And I wanted some original art. And I always sit there and I was like, "Why, those people are crazy." And I didn't know how it went. And so what they were doing back then is they had sketchographs, the 1998 sketchographs. And I bought enough boxes to where I got one I wanted, and I got another one and I traded for him. So my first two sketches are of John Buscema, Silver Surfer, on the sketchographs. I have both versions. So those are the first ones, and I got it on a signed poster. This is actually 1998. This was in Westchester, 99. I think I got the poster. This was before, obviously, he passed. And nobody was signing comics at that time. So you didn't really get a comic signed unless you did the first page on the inside. A lot of people weren't signing except for Stan signed everything, but a lot of people weren't. But then I got into this art auction and I had some money saved up. And I was a big fan of Thanos, and this is the 90s. And Infinity Gauntlet was over with. So they had some new pieces that were like 100 to 200 piece, but some older pieces that were $250 to $400 a piece. And for 600 combined, I got these two. These are my first two sequential art pieces and were my own for 10 years. They're the only two pieces I had for 10 years. So this is...
So those were your sole pieces for 10 years.
My sole pieces for 10 years. This is from the annual 10, the annual 2, the one not the Avengers, the 2-in-1, the Thing.
Oh, okay, Marvel 2-in-1.
Marvel 2-in-1.
Yeah.
There's that one, and from the annual 7.
Dude, that's
this
amazing.
That's all similar. But you could see how these were cut because when you were buying them, they.
Oh yeah, a lot of my pages have those corner trims for sure.
Yep, and the corner trims and a lot of the cuts on it was because they were in binders that were put together by these like black sticker holders, and people were just pulling them out and ripping them. And it was very common at these shows in Westchester County where I was doing the Westchester County Center, and Jim Starlin was there, and he himself was selling those pieces. So it was a little different. So
what's up, Jeff Schultz? Thanks for being here.
So then those are my first two for a while, and they're really cool and everything else. But I think what really got me into it was going to cons, and now I'm jumping ahead to like 2010, 2009, 2010, and I was going to cons all over the place. I was single. I was recently widowed, so I was just kind of going through this stuff myself. So I went and I started going to every con I want to, and getting really back into going to cons and not just reading Valiant and Vertigo, but going back to Marvel and everything. So my first ever slab and my first ever thing was, I didn't even know how it worked. So I asked Walt Simonson to do this drawing of Thor. This is it, and it was done in 2011. And then they were there and they took it from me, and I thought I was getting it back like in an hour or two, and I was nervous. I thought I got screwed, and eventually it came in the mail. They said, no, we'll mail it to you. We got your address. You filled out the form. And I joined CGC right after that.
Unruly wants you to go slower with the pages. It's like, I want to see those other pages again.
Okay, I'll show them again when I go some other.
No worries. Go at your own pace, brother. You're good.
So all I was doing at this point was getting sketch covers and slabbing them. Back then, if you joined CGC, you got 4 free standard issue tier graded books. So those were like my Hulk 181, Fantastic Four 48. That's what I was doing.
Just slabbing your keys and stuff.
But at Keys, you're getting $20 sketches at the time, if that. I don't even know if it was $20. But I was trying to find sketch covers, and you're going to see a very theme is that most of my sketch covers are all the same book. This book here, Avengers 10, there weren't a lot of blank variants at the time. And this is 2011 where variants just started, but the blanks were brand new, but I ate them up. So I bought as many of those in every shop I could. So this was the first one I ever got, Walt Simonson, and this is the one that I hang up the most. The rest of these kind of sit in a box, but I'll show them because these are now pretty well-known artists, but they weren't at the time.
For sure.
Unknown at the time, 2012, February of 12. This is Clay Mann doing this one. Again, the same book. You'll see a theme. It's usually the same book with Thor's, and then I'll show you when I get to the other one. So I just want him to draw Thor. I really wanted to draw Thanos, but nobody really knew, or nobody really was, I don't know, they didn't know who it was, but eventually I got it. Then I met Marko Djurkovic and asked him to do this.
Nice.
My first non-Thor, but it was a Captain America, and the reason why I got it because he just did a Captain America cover for the Ed Brubaker run that I went nuts with. I said, yes, I want you to draw that kind of captain. And he did. And going next to him was Morales. Mark Morales was right next to him. So he was inking on the side of it right there for him. So Djurkovic could bust this out for me pretty quick. Again, more of these Avengers books. This is Carrie Nord. This is the first guy I ever saw do watercolors at a con.
Oh, that's cool.
Watercolors at a con. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
And I just started reading God of Thunder. It was just about the time this started with Asad Ribic, and I only knew him from doing Silver Surfer Requiem. I didn't remember him, and then he just started doing the God of Thunder, and
it's that great painted work.
Yeah, right? We'll get into Assad a little bit later too. And
I know you got some stuff from him.
Jorge Molina did this one for me, same cover, and this was all different cons. I got one per con, and I would do it, and as long as CGC was there, and back then they didn't have booths. They had their, like your local comic shop. They were there because we'll submit for you, and you pay them $25 instead of the 20, and they did it for you, and they would ship it back. But back then, it didn't take much more than a month and a half before you got it back. And I actually didn't know this about the grades. That I always thought
with this whole pandemic, we've come full circle, and now their turnaround time's the same.
Yep, exactly.
You know.
Well, it was. Now I've had books sitting there for a little bit of a while now. So then, but during this time, I did go to a con, and I still had the Avengers book. This is the second printing of that book, and Ron Lim was there.
Nice.
And I went over to him and says, "I don't have a Thanos. Can you please give me a Thanos?" And he's like, "Absolutely." And he penciled this one. I don't know if it took him 15 minutes or 5 minutes, but I went around back then I was smoking. So I went out to have a cigarette. I came back and he came over. He goes, is this good enough? I said, yes.
Oh yeah.
He goes, I didn't know if you wanted the gauntlet or not, but I said, no, I want more of that cosmic cube Thanos.
Nice.
And then I made a good friend with Sajjad Shah, who's done a few covers for me in the past, and a lot of them I've given away. He's one of my favorite, so I got one from him, paid him for this one with the Infinity Gauntlet. Then there was a female there at a con I went to in the summer of 13 named Jolie Jones. And she was doing this other work, and I just asked her to do a Thanos for me. And at this point, Thanos was already seen on the big screen at the end of Avengers, and he started to show up in Thanos Rising. And so she was very familiar with him, so it was pretty good. Then I got real lucky. It's not the best sketch, but it still is. Jim Starlin. It was a no-brainer. 3 minutes. It's in a line. He didn't no sketching available. And then I said, could you do like a remarked Thanos? And he said, sure. Nice. I was going to have George Perez do this, but he wasn't available at that con and he ran out. But then now I'm getting into October of 13.
I like it. This is a great sketch cover speed round.
Just sketch cover because the other stuff you got to want to.
You got other stuff you got to sit and talk about. But this is I love this.
So I had this done. Ivan Rice did this one again, the Avengers book. This was from the Infinity run, and I actually have about 4 more of these sketch covers. But this was Ivan Rice, and again, this guy took a little bit, maybe like 5 minutes. He goes, sure, I'll do it for you, because he heard me talking, and now Ivan Rice is pretty well known. I think, again, 10, 15 bucks. I handed it into the local comic shop that was there, and most of my CGCs were yellow slabbed sketches. I had 15 of them before I had 8 slabbed blue labels or blue or regular comic books. Then Chris Mangold was there. And this is another Infinity. And Chris Mangold was a guy on the CGC boards who I saw at a con, and he does a lot of sketches. And he took his time and did this for me as a gift. And it was, as a favor. I said I always loved it, and he did it perfect. George Perez showed it to George Perez, and he wouldn't be outdone without doing his own. I told him the story, and he did that. And then he actually drew my logo, which you guys know as Vader in the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yes, so, I love that hybrid concept that you get at cons and as commissions and stuff. This
is some of the ideas. My Avengers 1 mock-up with the Hunters. Dengar, Bosk in there, and Loki. Instead of Loki, it's Vader. With IG-88 as the logo up top. Pretty cool.
Well, obviously, JD needs to be contained, guys. He's just. I think he showed like 30 sketch covers in like 10 minutes. That was awesome. Thank you for sharing. What's up, Ryan Jackson, Geek Aficionado, Tony NY Jr., Mr. Jarrell, Jaguar is in here as well. What's up, Jag? Lots of cool people in here. Thank you guys for supporting. So, all right. So I'm going to break it up and just show something. I don't have a ton to show tonight. I am going to tease that at the end of the show, there will be an unboxing of the J Hood Creative Commission that he did for me, which came in this week. He did it for a charity auction that JD and the Comic Corps hosted last year to benefit Midwest Comic Man Paul's daughter Moira, who had some medical troubles. So I was glad to contribute to that cause, and J Hood graciously offered up a commission for it. So now we're going to be revealing that. So that's going to be at the end of the show. But for the beginning of the show here, I'm going to show my latest auction win. This is like my newest piece of original art, and this is This is a page from the final Silver Age issue of Plastic Man. It's a Jack Sparling penciled and ink page. So technically, like, that's a different Plastic Man than the original Golden Age Plastic Man in canon, and then it got all like messed up because of Crisis on Infinite Earths and whatnot. So I'm not going to try to bother explaining this Plastic Man's like place in history or whatever. But this is the final Silver Age issue of Plastic Man, and this is page 19. So here in the top panel, you can see Plastic Man stretching across the subway car to essentially save Gordy, because Gordy was basically messing around with his powers that he just got and put himself in danger. And then you see them coming out of the subway over here, and he's like, okay, we're going to part ways kind of thing. And then the next panel, Plastic Man's in every panel, which is what I love about this page. Basically, he's like, maybe I was too hard on the kid or whatever. But then he hears the kid around the corner, and basically he's being wrapped up in his own stretchy arms and legs. And these gangsters are basically thinking that they already caught Plastic Man, and they're calling the real Plastic Man, what are you, some cheap 2-bit imitation? So I don't know. It's a funny Plastic Man page. Silver Age page. This is the oldest page I have, I think.
That's nice.
I have a page from X-Men 59 and Neil Adams page, so that's like late Silver Age or whatever. But yeah, I'm really, really happy with this page. Surprised I won the auction, frankly, but sometimes you do win. Like 1 out of 24 auctions on Comic Link on a Tuesday night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, thank you guys. I appreciate it. I really, really, really love this page. So yeah, I am. It's a funny page, and that's what you want with Plastic Man. At least that's what I want with Plastic Man. So
very cool.
There it is. That's my latest.
Nice. That's a good piece.
Thank you, dude.
So then after I was doing the sketch covers, while I was there, I was getting some sequential art here, and some pieces I bought from guys directly was Brian Genti had, he did Gambit, and I love the Remy LeBeau on that one, and he sold that original art for me. And there it is. You could see really good half splash of Gambit. This was the first sequential piece I bought since those two Jim Starlin pieces that I spent all my money on, and they're not in the best shape. Those other ones, these is when they're much newer, but there's a lot of cool wording down here. I love the notes that he gave the colorist and the inker, put a little Kirby flair in there, that kind of stuff. And this Gambit here isn't one of them. And then prior to Winter Soldier came out on the Ed Brubaker run, there was a Homecoming. Remember Captain America Homecoming? Yeah, he came back. Well, I got a piece for that. Let me see if I can find that one. Here it is. So it looks like this in color. I usually hang them like this,
nice.
Or above. Or
yeah.
So
if
this
I had
is that
enough wall space, I would do it that way. But
and I love the uniform of Cap on this one. You could see it's the one that was used in Winter Soldier. This is before Winter Soldier came out, and this is actually the basis for a fight that never happened in Winter Soldier. It's in the Ed Brubaker run.
Dude,
so
that's awesome.
Pretty cool.
I love the Ed Brubaker Cap run.
Oh, yeah.
Like, one of my favorite reads.
A lot of what I'm going to show are from my favorite reads now.
Nice. All right, real quick, before you show the next thing, since you showed something Captain America related, this is that Plastic Man page is my latest pickup, but this is the pickup before that, I guess. My second most fresh pickup, and it's a Jackson Geis, aka Butch Geis, published cover to Invaders #2. So and it's Captain America with essentially being strangled on the cover. There it is, Invaders #2, and there's signed by Jackson Butch Geis right there. But yeah, Butch Geis, in my opinion, one of the more underrated guys out there. Shout out to Brian, Tick Time Collectibles, and Michael, Knights of Old, because both of those guys have Butch Geis OA in their collections. They've both been on the show and showed some Butch stuff. So basically, they got me interested, and then I made a deal with Dave Karen for this one, who's his art guy, basically, or has a lot of his art for sale. But yeah, what I love about this cover is that it works upside down. You know what I mean? Like if I flip the cover over. Oh yeah. Right.
Well done.
So it's published this way, right? Like
Yep.
him being choked upside down, but you could technically display it either way, which is cool to me, you know.
Awesome.
But anyway, yeah, this is my first and only Butch Geist piece currently. Hold on, I'm trying to figure out the camera. Oh, there it is. Yes. Thunderhouse Design says that's awesome. He used to have a Butch Geist page, a Hitman from his Resurrection Man run, which I still have that page. Daymare says he just bought a couple of Geist pages a month or so ago. That's awesome. I would like to see those. Unruly says good googly moogly. Kachung, what's going on? No, I don't have any Bernie Wrightson, but Jay Dee probably will be showing some at some point, so stick around.
Yep.
Thank you, Justin. Jaguar says, do you guys frame them with the sleeve or naked?
Naked.
Well, it depends. I have some stuff custom framed. I have some stuff that like this is like a easily swappable in and out, you know, comic art frame. So it's not really meant for like permanent, you know, display. It's kind of like, okay, well, I have a place on the wall where I can just swap pages out, in and out. You know what I mean? That I feel like displaying or whatever. So there's a mylar sleeve behind this plexiglass or whatever. Or not plexiglass. I forget what the type
acrylic.
Acrylic. That's it. Yeah. So yeah, like it's just, you know. But then I do, you know, kind of go spend a lot more money and get some stuff custom framed with museum archival glass and custom matte jobs and all that stuff. So it's an expensive side hobby of collecting art is custom framing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a whole nother ball game. Man.
It's a whole different thing. But yeah, dude. All right, let's see some more from you, man. I can't wait.
One of my favorite series was the What If, and this one is a cool page because it has Wolverine, Thor, Iron Man, Magneto, the Protectoid, Seth, and Loki on it. So this was done by MC Wyman and Sam.
Okay, so that's the published page, and then
here's the Sam De La Rosa. There's a lot of whiteout over the wording on this one, so I think there was a lot of discussion. Again, this is Sam De La Rosa down here. He was the inker on it with MC Wyman doing most of the pencils on it. And it's good because I don't have a lot of the modern art, a lot of the newer art I have doesn't have the word bubbles on it because it's just done differently, and I kind of like that too. I have some with overlays, and I'll try to get into those in a little bit. The $9.99, but this was a cool piece. Got it directly from Sam and MC there, and a lot of the art I do buy directly from them. It's one of those things you could just find out that you save a little bit of money than if you go to like a Felix Comic Art or something.
Yeah.
That's that piece. Now I saw the Tricky Trapster in there. I guess for some reason this is next on my list to show. But I have an Iron Man annual by Don Heck. Remember Don Heck?
Oh, yeah.
He did this one. And I'm a big fan of the Trapster because you all know by his real name is Paste Pot Pete, Peter Petruski. Mm-hmm. So this is a 3/4 splash with the only time I've ever seen the Trapster almost on a full page or Paste Pot Pete on a full page. So I had to get it, and I won it really easily at an auction. I was the only high bidder.
JD is like stacking OA frames over there. I love it. It's like they're just giant slabs.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because they're all off the wall now. But
that's a fantastic page, man. I love
this is Don Heck with Rhodey up here, James Rhodes, and just a cool page right there. I love the What If, and I love the annuals because you can actually.
Simon Comics, good to see you, brother.
One of the thing about collecting original art is the issue matters as much as the artist sometimes, if it's key or not. But sometimes you get lucky and you find, like, I have a favorite artist. Obviously, I'm going to show some John in a little bit. Mm-hmm. But one of my favorite ones of the 90s was Larry Stroman. And he did a What If, I think it was 71. What if the Hulks took over? And this was the last page of that.
Just seeing that page, I know that the artwork's going to be mind-blowingly good.
Ridiculous how good it is.
Wow.
I mean, it's all the Avengers, and I'll get into my love of the Avengers because that's what most of the stuff I'm going to show, the Avengers, and then I'll show some more. This is Larry Stroman, and it's a beautiful piece. You've got down here, you got the Howling Commandos, and you got Nick Fury, Thor, Hulk, Cap, and Iron Man all right there. I think that was a Hawkeye somewhere in the book, but I don't think they showed him anywhere. This is a good one. This is instead of this is the gamma bomb that went off, and this is like their Iwo Jima. Really love the way this came out, and
that's so cool. Yeah, that is a Iwo Jima homage, right? I was like, what is that? Yeah. Yes, that's what it is.
It's an Iwo Jima homage, and it's just a really cool piece.
So cool.
One of my highlights is it's the Avengers, and it's there. One of the before I show the next Avengers piece, let me show some of the more recent stuff. On the most recent Avengers run, or the most recent Doctor Strange run, not Surgeon Supreme, but when he was the Herald of Galactus, Barry Kitson was doing the work with, and this is how new art is done. New art is done on much smaller pencil, so it's kind of hard to see. But if I put it, you see the reflection. But,
don't apologize.
And then you could see that there. And this is I got one because this has Silver Surfer, it has the Hulk, it has Galactus. Is this upside down?
No, it's right side up.
Oh, it is. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I guess you're right.
Yeah. Galactus, the Surfer, Doctor Strange, and Clea. So it's kind of like a Defenders without Submariner in there, and the pencil work is there, and that's what I wanted. He asked me if I wanted it inked, and in reality, I said no.
When you asked if it was upside down, I had the Butch Geist cover in my head, and I was like,
"Yeah, well, this kind of works.
It's supposed to be upside down."
Hulk. Yeah, it works with Hulk. And I got a new page from that book, The Sorcerer Supreme, with Doctor Strange villains, two great ones, The Living Tribunal and Eternity together. And this is, again, Barry Kitson and Mark Waid both signed it. The writer signed it. And I just love the way this pencils came out. These are good purchases directly from Caitlin Kitson does the sales for Barry on a website.
Is that his wife or his daughter?
I think daughter. I hope. I don't know.
I'm gonna cut in and show something because you're on such a roll.
Go ahead.
I gotta just chime in real quick. I wanted to show this because you're such a big Thanos guy, and Starlin guy. So this is my only Thanos page. This is my only Jim Starlin page. It's from Infinity Abyss.
Yep.
So and it's Al Milgram inks and Jim pencils. So
that's really good.
That page.
A lot of the Affinity ones are slowly coming back around for sale.
Yep. I won this at auction like 2 months ago, 3 months ago.
Okay. Yeah, they were nowhere to be had. Once the initial sale happened on a lot of them around the time of the next book I'm going to show you. When that happened, I totally missed out on all these pieces from like Crusade, Abyss, War, and Gauntlet that I was like, you know what, maybe I'll just save up and I'll buy it on the secondary. Well, they were originally going for like 100 to 250, and then they went for 400 to 1,000, now to 1,200 to 1,500. And that's one of the things about original art is you never know when it's going to be time to jump on it.
Definitely true. So I like to have Jeff ask, is there a comic book art museum? And Lasso said that it's at my house, but that's not true. But yeah, there are a bunch of comic art museums. There's one in San Diego. There's the Society of Illustrators here in New York on the Upper East Side that they've held like Batman original art exhibitions and all sorts of different exhibitions. I'm sure JD is aware of other art museums out there, but they're out.
Some of them travel. We have one here that, Frank Miller was here. I actually showed the 168 cover on a show. I don't remember what show I was on. And I said, hey, I got permission to show this because it came into my house. And the guy brought it up. I had 168, 171, and I had like 4 or 5 Daredevils, the first electric covers I had that they were bringing in for the it was just when the show Daredevil started on Netflix. The
Netflix show, yeah.
So my next piece was, I love the Avengers forever. And when the movie came out, there's a scene in the movie that, they made a comic. They made the comic. Remember, they did this comic.
Right. Like those are like kind of previews, right? For the movie.
Right. And it had the scene in the movie where, he goes, well, this all seems horrible. What he says, and he goes, Dr. Banner, now be real time. That's my secret, Captain. I'm always angry. So the splash page is the next page, and you see him hitting the Chitauri.
Oh, damn.
Right. So I had to do it.
So you got the double page spread?
I got it's a single page splash.
Oh, it's a single page splash. Okay.
And you've got everybody on there, all the Avengers.
No,
and if you watch the movie, even Captain America with the shield up is done off of this. So it's pretty cool. Hawkeye running away, Iron Man up here, Thor up here, and the punch. And if I just see, you could see the indentation right there. It's a great piece, and it frames pretty well.
So many characters on that page.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to get into the next one of that next. So during that time in the Avengers storyline, after Avengers vs. X-Men, they did the End Times, and it's the last bit of the Brian Michael Bendis, Mike Mayhew run, and this is my newest piece. I bought it at the art auction with Bill Cox last weekend or 2 weekends ago.
Comic Art Fans Live or whatever.
And Mike Mayhew.
That's where I got the Butch Geist, but I ended up making a deal with the dealer off a line.
Okay.
Because he had it listed like $200 or $300 higher than what I could actually just bargain with him on the CAF con. So, people trying to list elevated prices, and then, of course they'll deal a little bit.
So I'll show that piece in a minute. What I think I wanted to show, well, these are coloring books that we have to do. That was
a fun event, though. I hope they do that more often.
One of the things you can buy, if you can't afford the cover, you can always go find yourself a cover prelim.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I paid $60 for a cover prelim of Gabriel Delato when nobody knew who he was. Off of him. He wanted $75, and this is it. And this is the cover prelim to Annihilation #5.
Cool.
So this was in a frame.
I have an Alex Ross cover prelim, but I think that's the only cover prelim I have.
They're really good. They're not considered published art, but they have their.
They're cool, man. It's still original art. It may not be published,
who never gives up his original art. All of his art is almost painted on, which I'm going to.
I have a Delato Darth Maul painting. I've shown it to you before.
Yep. I love that.
Hunt or whatever. I think I showed it to you once. But Snake and House, what's going on, brother?
Good seeing Bake. Okay, so there's a book here. Marko Djurkovic. He was my favorite. Definitely 2010 all the way through. My favorite cover artist was not Alex Ross. No offense. It was always Marko. Was there, and I ended up getting a piece that I said, well, I know this piece is him, and the guy's like, are you sure? It's Oliver Coipel. I'm like, no, that's Marko Djurkovic. That's the cover prelim to 601. This is the cover, and it's published, and I found it, and I had to prove my point to Anthony Snyder, which is why we made the deal. In Thor, where's Thor? I forget how he does this. Wolverine, Daredevil, Ghost Rider. Where's Thor? There it is. In the Thor book.
I never read Annihilation, so I can't speak to what you guys can't remember.
What happens is that's Beta Ray Bill. There we go. Here we go. When he starts doing the covers, when he finally gets the job to do Thor right here. All right. That piece is right there.
Oh, wow.
And that's him doing the cover prelim for that Oliver Coipel. And he says, I decided to ask Oliver if I could paint it then instead. So he did. And that's the story behind this piece. So I got that one. So that's technically published.
Technically published. I love it, dude.
That's what they say. It's published. Who wanted to see a Wrightson? I'll show that now.
I think we all at all times want to see it, if it's a possibility. Right.
And there you go. This is a Bernie Wrightson Frankenstein, my favorite character he did. And it's almost very Muck Monster-esque, which is a character he did in 1968 for an Eerie magazine. This is Wrightson asking, this is just Frankenstein, and it is, the eyes on it tell a story in its own. I mean, it's Bernie, and probably might have taken him a little bit. There's actually a video on YouTube of him drawing this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a YouTube. There's like 7 or 8 ones when he's giving a talk and how he draws and how he was explaining just with a Sharpie, and he holds a pen not like normal. He holds it like this, and that's how he drew. Draw from the elbow, they call that, which Buscema used to do.
Yeah, goddamn is right. I mean, Wrightson's on my Grail list for sure. Like, you know, obviously price is an issue, and you gotta like the piece too. But
rights and pieces are very expensive, and but
that's
I'll
awesome.
tell you this. This is how crazy it was when I was buying those Starlin pieces back in the late 90s and other art. Wrightson's work for Swamp Thing 1, pages 2 through 4, 2, 3, 4, and 5 were $1,200 a piece. And my friend Lewis was like, I'm not spending $1,200 on a piece of art, no matter what. They're now probably valued at least in the tens of thousands of dollars, because that's the first drawing of Alec Holland, first drawing of the whole Swamp Thing story. Wrightson was selling them himself for $1,000 to $1,200. If you bought two, they were $1,000 a piece. And he's like, I'm not spending $2,000. And he never bought one, and he regrets it. And he tells me the story, because while I was with him, we tell the story together. I'm like, why didn't you buy it? He goes, why didn't you buy it? I said, well, I was more into the other kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't think Bernie Wrightson was going to pass anytime soon. But one of the things I ended up getting miraculously, one of my favorite stories is this book here, Doom 2099. Doom 2099, number 40 is some of the last work ever done by John Buscema. And I've got 3 pages. It took me over the last 3 years. It took me almost one per year I've gotten of the same book. This is the Dr. Doom. You know, it's Doom 2099, so it's featured right there. And there's a great picture of the kid. He goes in there, are you from Latveria? And it's Doom versus Doom. One of my favorites right here. And then, of course, you got the Daredevil.
So cool.
And the reason why these are not framed, because I want to show you the back on some of them. That's probably the best part of this.
Dude, I hear you, man. On some of the things that mean the most to me, I haven't been able to frame them just yet, because I like actually looking at what's on the back. I like being able to actually like have the real paper on my hand if I want.
Exactly.
To, you know,
this is the back, has all these little sketch drawings for Conan horses and dogs.
That's awesome.
He drew his own dog. You know,
nice.
You could tell that's all Buscema. And this is the overlay here. I actually have 2 overlays without art to go with that came with when I was buying some of this off a guy. Mm-hmm. And then I found another piece out of recently, and it has the Doctor Strange. So I've got everybody with postgraduate degrees, the attorney, Dr. Doom, and Dr. Strange.
You got all the smart guys in Marvel.
Yep. And Dr. Strange is one of my top 3 favorites, up there with Silver Surfer. I have a good Ed McGinnis piece to show. But this was great getting those 3 Buscemas. Now,
hell yeah, and like here's your top guy. Like
I'll show you this.
You're the biggest
fan. I can't carry it, but I'll show you the size. But right there, you see the Bucky. That's the first drawing of Bucky and Winter Soldier there. But the better one, that painting of Silver Surfer and Silver Surfer 4 cover, that I got in New York. And now, Kabi, you might know this. This was back in the 99, I think I got that. 99, there was NYU art students used to go out in the street and offer to do paintings for you. And if you handed them a picture, they would draw a picture of it. So I just handed them a copy of Silver Surfer 4, like the Masterpiece edition. That I just had signed by Stan Lee at the comic shop at I guess it wasn't called Midtown Comics at the time. It's called Cosmic Comics down on Union Square. And I said, draw this. And he says, well, I'm going to take a picture of it. He took a Polaroid out because that's all he had. Because there was no cell phones, didn't have cameras or anything back then. And he did that. And then he looked it up and he did that for me. And he mailed it to me. I lived in the Bronx and it came rolled up. And I was like, oh no, still wet. It's still wet. Well, he found a way to put this ceramic in there. It is perfect shape and everything else, but I said just get rid of all the words and everything else, but that's there. So Buscema is my favorite.
One of the most epic covers of all time.
Yeah,
that's a great recreation. I love it.
Here's that Ed McGinnis piece I was going to show. This is on the most recent Avengers run, 30 they just hit issue 33, I think, with Moon Knight. This is from a couple issues back. You might recognize it when Silver Surfer gets the Necro Sword to the back.
Wow.
But this is that page there with
Robbie Ray. Panel. Look at that second panel.
It's just so. And I probably should have bought the page after it, and he even laughed at me when I didn't buy it at the opportunity time.
Oh my god!
But I thought this was great, and it's funny. I had to wait for I ordered it while he was doing it. It wasn't published yet. And he goes, this is going to be the first page in there. And I had to wait for Morales to ink it. And he sent it to me directly. And he goes, hey, man, hope this works. And it was perfect. Real good job. Then
that's incredible, dude.
Another Buscema piece. Thor. We'll go over Thor real quick. This is from Thor. Oh, it's at number, 231. It's the Arnok is the character's name. It's his first and only appearance, and this is known as the Death of Arnok, who just made an appearance in a recent one. This has some really good Hercules action, which is kind of tough to find. A lot of Hercules, but it's got Thor in there. Obviously, he literally kills the guy. There's the death right there. And this is also
I see it pop up on Heritage every once in a while, but that's about it.
Yep. Now the thing about this one is this is the first time Jane Foster appears in a Thor comic since the Kirby days. Buscema never did a Jane Foster because remember she was a nurse and she fell in love with the doctor, and that's the last you see of it. But Thor finds out that this Arnok is going after Jane Foster, and he loses his mind and kills him as a result of it. And this starts the unworthiness. But this is 231 way back in the 70s. 74, I think that is. 74 or 75. 74, 75. So Thor is my favorite character. So I'll show something here. When God of Thunder, my wife did this for me. First, I'm going to say this. This I got was an original oil painting by Mike Wyman. You can find him on Instagram. Check him out. Do it. I had it custom framed, and I never showed the frame on it. But just another one of my logos. But
yeah, dude, D-Runk's saying I've never heard of someone buying a page before it published. Like, I mean, yeah. I've heard of it, but I don't know anyone except for you who's actually done it. So that's pretty cool, man. That's really cool. I love that story.
If you go to their sites, and as soon as the book is sent in, they have the art ready to go. Yeah,
because I mean, now it's like,
it's too late when it's published.
Yeah, now it's artists and reps doing art drops. Like they do. Yep. They and everybody's kind of like sitting there waiting to click the button and get through. When something drops, like especially for a lot of the modern artists. But that was a fantastic story and page. Kenny's saying after watching this show, he was have to spend the next 48 hours resisting the urge to bid on away pages. JP's also having the same issue. Later, Jimmy, good to see you, brother. All right, let's keep it going. Yeah.
All right. Now this piece I've shown before. This is a commission I had done, and the idea was my favorite two villains handing it off, and I definitely wanted the original style of Thanos. When I contacted this artist, Al Newen, he's done like Vader crossing the Delaware, and I said, can you do the Sistine Chapel with Vader? And I just tell them the same thing I tell anybody who I have like 20 or so pieces of Vader in the Infinity Gauntlet. I'll just show a few.
Yeah, man, I love that you have so many of those.
I have one every year.
I have a couple just Vaders. I have a couple just Thanos, but
this is a copy of Journey of Mystery 112 of the two of them going at it.
Nice.
And we just made that one. But one of the pieces I wanted to show before I'll show you the Mike Mayhew double page spread, and I have something I want to end on because my wife gave it to me for Christmas.
Oh, nice.
I don't think it's ever been seen. Well, first there's this. This I got at the art auction. I might as well show the page, though.
Oh, wow.
So this is a good
That's huge. Line. Yeah, it's a double page spread, right?
It's a double page spread, and this is what it looks like here. Now, this is done in 2012. This is from the Avengers End Times, right? This is the centerfold spread.
How do you print the color pages? Do you do it yourself, or do you use
this is a book.
Oh, so you just literally take it from the book. You don't make a copy.
I buy extra copies of the book. Yeah, I'm not. None of these are Hulk 181s or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. I do the same thing, bro. I have to own the book for every
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now this is funny because this story here, the storyline, if you know what this is where Hank Pym tells all the Avengers that they have to shrink down to go into a microverse to come out and try to save somebody on the other side.
Yeah, that sounds right.
This is the basis for,
yeah.
And the name of the thing was Endgame.
Endgame,
so
yeah.
If we just went back and read Brian Michael Bendis, who was a writer on this stuff, maybe the idea came from there. So that page, which has everybody's on it, is a cool piece because here it is.
I mean, that shit is I mean, excuse
This
my
is my
cursing,
favorite one.
but
Mike Mayhew, and I bought this not a lot of money. I was part of the preview of the auction.
Yeah, like the 2 hour, you get in 2 hours early if
right.
you're a
and
premium member.
and this Bill Cox again did a great job on hosting this, and Mike Mayhew.
I agree. I enjoyed that weekend.
This was this. I think it was the highlight of the year in comic art collecting
Agreed.
by far.
It was fun.
But
I picked up 2 pieces: the Butch Geist thing and Cliff Chang page, which still hasn't arrived, unfortunately, coming from Canada. So,
and one of my favorite ways to do things is in a
dude, that page is unreal though, dude.
It's got everybody on it. Hank Pym.
I remember seeing it in the preview when I was going through the stuff, like you know, like what people had been posting, and I was like, oh man, I knew it was going to be too rich for my blood, but like, it
actually was not bad if you went directly to him. He had it out there. I think it said sold by the time the auction started, and he shipped it to me, no charge for shipping, and he gave me enough supplies. If I ever want to ship original art, I have enough supplies to ship original art for a month because of that.
Dude, seriously, that was a mind-blowing piece.
Did you want to show something else before I show?
Yeah, I mean, if you want me to. I mean, I've been sort of slowly pre-unboxing J Hood's commission, so I can, you know, so it doesn't take forever.
So before we go to that, if you want to see this piece,
I got other stuff to show if you need me to.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's go to you.
Wait. I'll wait.
Well, I was just going to show quickly, since you're also the Vader guy. I was just going to show you quickly some of my Vader stuff. This is a Vader sketch cover that I had done at New York Comic Con last year, like technically double-sided. It got a clear backing board or whatever, done by Marvel artist Andrea Ricardo. Here's another Anakin / Vader, you know, at the end of Return of the Jedi, sort of dual character sketch. You basically have both versions of Anakin on one sketch cover that was done by artist Stephanie Isidro. This Old Man Luke was done by Brian Kong, so this is not technically not Vader, but it's Star Wars related. So
that's cool.
It's related.
It's anything Star Wars for me, you know.
Exactly, yeah. And this one was signed by Mark Hamill at New York Comic Con like 3 years ago. And then I got this one here, Ahsoka Tano, signed by Ashley Eckstein. Who voices the character. Now I'm going to have to track down Rosario Dawson.
I was going to say, and Katie Sackhoff is going to be.
And Katie Sackhoff, yeah. But, Katie Sackhoff's going to be what? She's supposed to be Bo-Katan, I think, or something.
Yeah, she's supposed to be the Mandalorian.
That's right. Yo, Mark Knapp 68, good to see you, brother. Welcome.
Nice. These are 3 sketch covers I had done. So of course you got Silver Surfer 4. I didn't finish this one, so I got 141, and I'm waiting for a guy to do 142 as Vader, as Thanos as the Sentinel, just a little bit bigger. Because, and then I've got, this is Thor 126, the first issue, that battle of him versus Hercules. So
what's up, Brian?
That, and then recently you guys saw this from California Blend. She did an amazing job. Actually, my daughter has her painting of the one she talks about all the time, and I think we have more coming for her on the way. Where my son now wants. I'm going to have to think about myself as well. This was done recently by Kyle Willis, and this is Star Wars pages in the background are the homage, and you could see the Vader versus the Thanos coming through the Space Stone. Kind of a little bit of a crossover, maybe, you know. If you want, that would be really cool. But it looks pretty badass right there. Looks great.
Dude, I love that.
But my wife this year got me my piece that I think it actually transcends comic art and transcends fine art and everything in one. And Thor: God of Thunder, the 25 issue, Jason Aaron, his first time on it, I still consider to be the best run on Thor ever done. So I had to do it, and this is a watercolor 16 by 20, not 16. Watercolor by Assad Ribic.
Oh my god,
was there, and I framed it recently, and
I love that frame too. That gold.
Yeah, it's like a silver gold frame that matches the helmet.
Yeah, more silver than gold, really. Isn't
Right.
it? Yeah.
And it matches the helmet right there. And this is a Sod Ribic. This is my wife's favorite piece now. Her other favorite piece was the Sistine Chapel piece, and her favorite is the Mike Mayhew there. But
I mean, that Mike Mayhew, same, but that I mean, Sod Ribic's got some mad talent.
And he was supposed to do something else for me, but because of the COVID and everything else, so
still, or is it someone else repping him now?
Anthony Snyder represents him.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And Anthony even said we talked about it. The piece I originally was going to have done, there's no way you can get it done with everything else going on.
COVID, yeah.
So instead, he just said, "How about we make a deal and you can have this?" And I'm like, "Go." My wife said, "Please," and I said, okay. So she likes it a lot. I mean, I love it. This is right before the God of Thunder run probably started. I mean, it's dated on the back. It's just really, really impressive and kind of transcends original art combined with regular classic art. So
Tricky Traps, I'd like to see your Ribic as well, but we got to get you on the show also at some point.
Yeah,
dude, send me a pic. I want to see it.
I've always looked at like the Silver Surfer Requiem cover, but they've gone for high four figures, 6,500, and it's just a little too much with everything else going on. But art has become my biggest passion, and along with the stuff. I mean, I have a small list of books I want, and I have a catalog of art I'm interested in.
Yeah, I hear you, brother.
I think that happens when you get going. So
George said, my wife would say, please don't buy that.
I give that's part of the thing. I would be honest with you, is my wife is a big fan of the comics and understands the passion for it, and she has been a very good supporter of me with the getting original art, where she knows I'm selling books to get art, which she's like,
right.
Art, and she like up here. There's a piece I would love to show. I can't bring it down. Maybe I can work the camera. Can you see that?
Put you full screen.
Yeah, that's Gabriel Dell'Otto.
Nice.
Not the Baby Yoda. That's Gabriel Dell'Otto there. This is
Gabriel Dell'Otto, Baby Yoda, you bastard.
No. That's not Gabriel. This is the Woodsides Baby Yoda. That over there is the covers for I think not Secret Wars, one of the 4-issue sets that Dell'Otto did the covers for.
He did Secret Wars.
Yeah, he did Secret Wars, Secret Invasion, and there's another one, and this is the other one.
Okay.
These were all variants by the New York guy. What's that? Not Metropolis Comics. What was? Yeah, it was Metropolis Comics. Vince.
Comic Connect.
Comic Connect. Yeah, well, it was the variant.
Same thing.
It was
Same
the variant.
family.
Yeah, it's Vince. Vince gave me that piece after I bought some art I had negotiated a sale for him with a bunch of Simon Bianchi art.
Nice.
And like 12 pages of his stuff was sold to one dealer. I got him to buy it. And so that was my gift, was a Gabriel Dell'Otto signed that stuff up there, but that doesn't come down. It's up there in the it's pretty cool, but it's not the original art. It's not
original art. It's like framed books, right? Basically.
Yeah. Well, it's not books. It's one piece.
It's one connecting cover.
Yeah, it's signed on there. It's the prelim. It's not. It's kind of like a painted overlay. He painted it, but it's his original. His pencils aren't on that.
Right.
That's his painting. So I guess that's how it would.
Dude, you showed some crazy stuff. Honestly,
I know. I kept going.
You got through it. Like we this might be an hour-long show, and you showed like so many pieces, dude. I tried.
I tried to show as much as I could. I mean,
you and Stray Flexen were just like whoa, like freaking like just an onslaught of art where that got me like stoned.
And I tried to show a variation of everything I've ever collected, from sketch covers to private commissions I request to published art featuring the Avengers, the Defenders, the characters I like. Even the Gambit piece was it was like the first piece I actually sat there. So, I'm not even a big Remy LeBeau fan, but there's something about that captivated my eye. Was the villain.
Right. Yeah, dude, I hear you, man. Because like sometimes I will get art from the things that aren't necessarily in my like top 5 titles, stories, just because I like the artwork. I have a connection to that artwork, and like the artwork just draws me to the acquisition. You know, like it happens all the time so far. I mean, I've only been doing this like 2.5 years or whatever, but like it's for me, it has taken over for comic books, similar to you. Like it is, you know,
Yeah.
of that as far as the time I spend on.
You've collected a lot in 2.5 years. I mean,
yeah, exactly, dude. Yeah,
I've been doing this. I'm in my 10th year, or 20th year if you count the sketch cards. By the way, the whole story of those sketch cards was great. Was when you buy those boxes, everybody was buying the boxes for the Michael Jordan number 45 jersey variant, the chromium. I'll never forget it because I was buying them on Maiden Lane in New York too. I was like buying those boxes and trading them and went, "Ooh, did you get that?" And I'm dumb because I got rid of a Spider-Man. The first set was all Spider-Man by Romita, Stanley, and everybody, Terry Dodson. So I think I got a Dodson Spider-Man. I traded for one of the Buscemas, and then I got the other one. So I don't know how many there are of each, but there are two versions of it. They came out back to back, and one, the difference is just the shoulders being inked on there. And those sketch cards are now ridiculously high money because they're almost everybody who did them is either dead or not doing anything anymore. So this was part of the Silver Age artist. Okay, upstairs.
Hi. All right, so look, we're gonna end this with the unveiling of the J Hood Creative Commission from the Comic Core charity auction last year for Moira, which was a great I guess well, it was an auction technically, but J Hood donated his services essentially for a good cause, and I was happy to contribute to a good cause. And I don't know if he's going to pop in here. I saw in the chat he was having there's a storm and he's having like power issues and possibly internet issues. So I don't know if he's actually going to pop in here or not. But maybe he will at the very end. But if not, no worries, J Hood. Be safe. But I do want to open this thing and see this commission. I'm excited.
Yeah.
J Hood's a very talented guy. Has been, spreading the art love in the community with sketch covers and AOKs and things like that. But this is a full-size piece. I have not seen it. I'm pulling it out now. I have not seen it, guys. Literally, this is all I've seen so far. Is this white folder, thing that it was packaged very, very nicely, and it was inside this. So this is the first time I am seeing it. So let's reveal it. Oh wow! All right, I gotta look at it first, guys, but I will flip it around. Oh my God! So okay, so just to explain it a little bit, the concept was let's do a Golden Age style Batman and Robin, but put J Hood's spin on it. Right? Okay. I didn't want it to be just a straight up copy of Shelley Moldoff style or early Golden Age Batman style. I wanted it to at least have some J Hood flavor, some J Hood twist or interpretation on it. And I think that's exactly what he's delivered here. And I love this, dude. I'm just gonna.
Oh, awesome,
dude! Right.
It does remind me of the Golden Age with the cape the way it is,
It really does, man.
Really good job.
It's huge.
And with the yellow circle in the background, that's such a Golden Age thing.
That's such a Golden Age trope for Batman covers.
Good. Shadowing is perfect. Great,
dude. Job. Yeah, I'm very, very happy with that, J Hood.
J Hood, you might get a few commissions.
I hope you get. I hope you can watch this on the rewind if you're internet cut out. But thank you so much, J Hood, brother. I really, really appreciate it. This is definitely going to get framed, no doubt. And I don't know where I'm going to put it, but it's going to go up somewhere. I can tell you that. And dude, way, way above my expectations. So cool.
I love the cow.
I'm so happy with that. Everybody in the chat thinks it's pretty damn good as well. So I got to share some of these comments.
I apologize. I can't see the chat. I don't have my glasses on, so it says the.
Oh no, don't worry. I'm just going to highlight comments as I see them here and put them up on the screen. But dude, yeah, I am so happy with that. Tricky Trapster is self-deprecating himself. Don't do that, brother.
Yeah.
But dude, J Hood, you killed it, man. Thank you so much. And he was the first ever guest. He was the first ever guest I've had on the show. So it kind of comes back around, and you're going to be the last guest for season 1. This is the end of season 1 of Original Art Hour. I'm taking the next few weeks off. I'll be back after the July 4th holiday doing, season 2 of this. I might tweak the format a little bit. I might change it up. I might bring on more than one guest at a time. We'll see. I'm still kind of mulling it over in my head and everything. But it's been awesome to doing 14 episodes of this show and having everybody in the community hang out and appreciate everybody that's come on and their art collection and learning a little bit more about this stuff. So, JD, dude, thank you so much for being.
Thank you very much for having me.
Season finale. So I really appreciate it. Anything you want to plug before we wrap things up here? I know you got Golden Guys tonight, literally.
Yeah, about a half hour, 45 minutes. We're going to do Golden Guys. We're going the half year in review. We're going to have the spinner rack. We're going to have a few discussions. You never know what, it's pretty much the Golden Guys. So we'll be discussing a lot of stuff. But again, I really want to thank Kavi to having me on here. I didn't know it was the season finale. I hope.
That was kind of. I think I told a few people, but I didn't really make a big deal of it. But you got to take a break every once in a while. Oh
yeah, absolutely.
So thanks everybody. I really appreciate all the positivity about the show. Kenny, good luck with your hunt for a page.
Yeah, Kenny, if you're ever interested in original art, I can hook you up with a bunch of people that sell a ton of it.
And don't put too much pressure on yourself. Make sure you connect to the art first.
There's a lot. If there's this piece you want and you see it out there, set your goal and just don't go outside your means. I tell everybody the same thing. The one thing about original art is I see a lot of dealers, they say the same thing. He goes, man, these guys are going outside their means. Don't go outside your means on this stuff. It'll always be there. Most of these places take layaway, which is a phenomenal.
Yeah, you can work out time payments and things like that for no interest. Yeah, no interest involved, everything like that. So
and great chat, by the way. Great people.
Yeah, man, dude. This crew has been supporting the show for a while, and I appreciate everybody, and I appreciate everybody watching on the rewind. If you can do me a favor, thumbs this video up. Please leave a comment if you're watching the rewind. Subscribe to JD. He's got his own channel as well.
Yeah, I'll put something out there again soon. I promise.
Links in the description below, but you could also check him out over at the Comic Core channel, Golden Guys tonight.
I am working on a Wrightson panel with some of his old partners, his roommates. That like Jim Starlin and Howard Chaykin. I'm working with those guys on doing a nice little Wrightson tribute coming up for.
That'll be amazing.
I have a lot of the weird, obscure Wrightson stuff that everybody's like, "Oh my god, I had no idea he did that."
Right. As far as books and stuff, yeah.
It's not just comics. It's record covers, tour press passes, things he did for money that were like in the 70s and the early 80s. Albums, records, Meatloaf covers,
nice.
concert posters, Conan book from high school, a bunch of weird things that I've been able to find and research. Again, I was an original member of the Wrightson fan club in 1999.
Nice.
I still have that book, my binder and everything with the newsletter that came with it. And this is pre-internet. So, you didn't Google.
Awesome.
There's no Google, so it's just a little.
Well, dude, you're an inspiration as a collector and as a art aficionado as well. So thanks again. I had a blast, and you're like everyone else in the chat who's going to go down a rabbit hole. I as well will be going down a rabbit hole, looking for stuff as a result of this show. But that happens to me every week or every episode on this show. I at least one name that like wasn't at the top of my list or on my radar to try and secure a piece or find a piece. Some one of those artists that every single one of my guests has shown from their collection has creeped its way into my head, and I thought, maybe I should get a piece by that artist. It's just the way it is, man. The more exposure you get, the more you get into it, and I'm enjoying it. So any final words besides that? You got Comic Core real quick, so I'm going to go head over there in about 25 minutes and catch you guys talk Golden Age.
Well, sure. Thank you,
All
guys.
right,
Thank
man.
you.
All right, thanks everybody in the chat. I will see you in a few weeks in July for season 2 of Original Art Hour. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.